Rasheeda, the ever-successful businesswoman, thought everything was fine until she received the bombshell of a lifetime, Joc's secret affair and the shocking pregnancy that came with it. Imagine learning you're expecting a child. Yung Joc's world was collapsing. But did anyone really expect it to implode this quickly? Rasheeda is pregnant with Yung Joc's child, a fact that had been kept under wraps. But when it was revealed, it wasn't just any secret, it was a filthy, scandalous affair. It sent shockwaves through their entire world, and they held on tight because it didn't stop there. The father wasn't even the man she was married to. When Frost, Rasheeda's husband, learned of Joc and Rasheeda's affair, his entire world fell apart in an instant. His first words were, "Kill Joc." Yes, things became serious very quickly. But the worst part was that Camilla, a close friend of Joc's, had her own game to play. While warning Joc, she had plans of her own that would completely upend everything once more. But this was only the beginning. As Kirk's anger grew hotter, Joc's struggle for survival took center stage. And things swiftly got out of control with violence, treachery, and unexpected turns at every corner. Who is in control now, and what will this do to them all? The story starts with what seemed to be the ideal life for Yung Joc, the successful rapper, businessman, and all-around industry player. However, it was far from over. So stay tuned. The real question is whether Kirk will decide to rebuild his family or end his relationship with Joc permanently. He had it all: a flourishing career, an extravagant lifestyle. But behind the scenes, a storm was building that would completely upend his life. At the heart of this chaos was Rasheeda, the incredibly successful businesswoman, a well-known figure in the entrepreneurship world, a social media queen, and a devoted wife. Before the bombshell was dropped, everything appeared to be going well for Kirk Frost. Rasheeda was pregnant, but the twist was that Yung Joc, not Kirk, was the father. A shocking affair that had been kept secret was suddenly revealed in a way that no one could have predicted. Imagine the shock, the disbelief, the destruction that would result from something like this. Let's take a step back and see what happened before this moment. How did Joc, who was supposed to be Kirk's friend and business partner, end up entangled in such a mess? Rasheeda's life, which had been stable and secure, abruptly turned upside down after one phone call, one text, and one whisper in the wrong ear. It wasn't about a single error. Rather, it was a pattern, a betrayal of trust and a plot twist nobody anticipated. The Joc, who was well known for his charm and industry acumen, had been keeping this secret for months. He believed he could keep it buried, and that no one would discover his affair with Rasheeda. He had a lot going on, but he didn't anticipate Kirk Frost, Rasheeda's husband, being caught completely unprepared. Just think of the rage that would have erupted when Kirk learned the truth. His initial reaction? A rage so blinding that the only words out of his mouth were, "Kill Joc. Yes, kill Joc." Kirk Frost, a man who had been married to Rasheeda for years, who had created a life and family with her, was now confronted with the ultimate betrayal. Everything he had known and fought for, his marriage, his family, his world, was collapsing. In an instant. And it wasn't just the affair that was happening. While Kirk was consumed with rage, Camilla, a close friend of Joc, wasn't just passively watching this unfold. She had interests at heart. The betrayal ran deep, not only from Rasheeda, but also from someone who was supposed to be part of Kirk's inner circle. Joc, his so-called friend, had been hiding this truth right under his nose. Camilla understood exactly what was at risk, not only for Joc, but also for herself. Camilla, the cunning manipulator, saw an opening in the scandal and acted to protect her own reputation. She made sure that if this story became public, she would emerge victorious. Her role in this was anything but straightforward. She wasn't merely attempting to save Joc from Kirk's wrath. Her intentions weren't totally clear. Camilla wasn't just a supporting character. She was the one pulling the strings. She was meticulously planning her moves, playing the game, and making sure she was in control of the story. However, what was her real goal? Was she trying to shift the focus and clear Rasheeda's name? Or was she trying to protect Joc and his reputation? Camilla started to change her plans as Kirk's rage boiled over. She knew that everything was going to blow up into something much bigger than anyone could have imagined. But nobody, especially Joc, could have prepared for the full force of what was about to happen. Camilla was moving her pieces on the chessboard in the background, making sure she was the one left standing. When Kirk eventually caught up to Joc, it wasn't just a warning or a phone confrontation. It was a full-on assault, a violent showdown, where Joc was forced to face the consequences of his actions. What came next was a confrontation between Kirk and Joc that went beyond a verbal altercation. It involved a violent clash of emotions, ego, and betrayal. Not only did Kirk threaten Joc, he physically attacked him, letting loose all of his pent-up anger in a vicious encounter that no one could have predicted. Joc, who had experienced many highs and lows in his life, now found himself in a situation where survival, rather than fame, money, or music, was more important. Camilla was playing her own game, trying to control everything from the shadows. And Kirk? He was out for blood in this nightmare that Joc had made for himself. But let's not forget who else was impacted by this mess: Rasheeda, the woman caught in the middle of this affair. The one whose life was shattered when she discovered the truth. Everything she had worked for, and her entire identity, were now under scrutiny. Would she remain faithful to Joc, the man who had deceived her, but was also the father of her child? Or would she support her husband, Kirk, who had vowed to protect her? Every choice Rasheeda made from this point on would be closely examined. The fight between Kirk Frost and Yung Joc didn't end with a few punches and a dramatic walk-off like some VH1 reunion show. No. This was personal. She had a life to rebuild, a business to run, and a family to protect. You rebuild when the foundation has been destroyed by betrayal. This wasn't merely being upset. This was going to war. And Joc wasn't just physically hurt. His entire reputation was being trampled underfoot and presented to the public with a side order to cancel him. But the name Camilla, the supposed friend of Joc who claimed to have his back, she flipped faster than a politician in an election year. She began making discreet phone calls to blogs, gossip sites, and dubious anonymous tip lines. After seeing an opportunity, she said, "Let me finesse this scandal like a pro." She was sowing seeds and spinning the tale, but she wasn't doing it in Joc's favor. Baby, Camilla's been working with Rasheeda's PR for months now. She knows that if this gets out and the public turns on Rasheeda, it's over for all of them. She's cleaning house. So what did she do? Camilla turned the scandal into a soap opera. She went full-blown Olivia Pope with a twist of Mona Scott. An anonymous source told Fake Tea Daily that in an attempt to protect Rasheeda's brand, this woman claimed that Joc gaslighted her into getting pregnant, and she leaked a phony report alleging that he did so by using emotional instability and business stress. Meanwhile, the public was consuming this as if it were Sunday brunch drama. Twitter was ablaze with speculation that Rasheeda and Joc, or Kirk, were about to commit. People were constantly photoshopping Rasheeda with Joc's face on her baby. Bump, posting fake Kirk mugshots with captions like, "Arrested for whooping Joc like a drum set." And as the drama went viral, Kirk Frost's rage was evident. The entire felony involved Camilla playing chess while these boys played Uno. Kirk went missing for 72 hours, locked his phone, skipped business meetings, and was spotted driving around Atlanta with a baseball bat in the trunk, muttering to himself, "Ain't nobody playing with me no more?" According to another anonymous insider who claims to be Kirk's barber's cousin's Uber driver, things only got worse. Yes, it was true. But the public wanted answers, not just rumors. So, defying all advice, Joc made the unthinkable decision to do a live Instagram video. He appeared severely stressed and bruised, breathing heavily as if he had just avoided Kirk once more. He began yelling, "You guys don't know what I know. No one is perfect, but I wasn't alone in this. Rasheeda was there too. She knew what the blunder was." And in less than 10 minutes, he not only threw Rasheeda under the bus, he also confirmed the pregnancy and gave the impression that she was the one pursuing him. Camilla left the stage, but in an attempt to contain the damage, she quickly posted a phony audio tape on blogs in which a man, who sounded like Joc, said, "I got her pregnant on purpose. That's how I stay in the family money." Was that Joc's actual voice? Probably not. But the internet didn't give a damn. The controversy wasn't limited to Twitter. Then it went viral, with fake headlines like, Rasheeda pregnant by Joc. Kirk goes berserk, urban daily trash. Joc versus Joc, the war for Rasheeda's womb, drama insider. Rasheeda was completely silent during this time, posting nothing, making no appearances, and not even reposting skincare. The mystery was further fueled by backroom sources who claimed that Rasheeda was staying at a private wellness retreat in the hills, possibly on orders from Camilla and her crisis team. However, no one knew that Rasheeda was hiding from Kirk as well as from the media. Previously, the woman who typically had a new reel every 36 minutes was off the grid. Friends close to the couple claimed that Kirk had been monitoring her texts, questioning her every move, and even setting up cameras in their home after their altercation turned unstable and paranoid. One source claimed that Kirk had been acting like a reality TV detective, pulling receipts from 2019 and even asking if the baby was still alive. Perhaps he lost sight of time, and as Camilla gained influence, she started holding secret meetings with Rasheeda's business associates to discuss sponsorships and subtly sanitize Rasheeda's reputation while disparaging Joc behind closed doors. This was masterful sabotage, with a hint of calculated treachery. She even persuaded Rasheeda's team to issue a phony statement, stating that due to stressful and private circumstances, Rasheeda would be temporarily withdrawing to concentrate on her health, family, and spiritual peace. In other words, we're hiding until the fire goes out. But remember, this wasn't over. Kirk was still spiraling and allegedly hired a private investigator. Yes, he was prepared to. In this episode of Law & Order ATL Scandal Unit, the PI's mission was to track down Joc, see if he was paying off anyone, and confirm if the baby was his. However, Joc had his own defense strategy. He had teamed up with Lisa Gray, a formidable lawyer who had previously gotten a member of the Love and Hip Hop cast off a pyramid scheme and a 6-figure fraud case in the same year. As legal threats flew, the city began to hum with rumors that Joc would sue Kirk for assault, that Rasheeda would side with Joc, that Camilla was running the entire circus. At this point, nobody could tell who the true villain was. Kirk, who lost it and went full WWE? The public was split, with fans taking sides as if it were the Atlanta edition of Infinity War. Hashtags like Team Kirk, Protect Rasheeda, Camilla News, Joc Drama were everywhere. The joke began. Joc was the messy secret daddy. Camilla was the puppet master behind the scenes. Rasheeda was blamed for remaining silent while chaos broke out in her name. Then Camilla dropped another bombshell. In an exclusive leaked email, yes, we received the receipts, Camilla contacted a major podcast network, claiming to have hours of unreleased audio, text screenshots, and video footage that could potentially destroy Joc's career and clear Rasheeda's name. Camilla had just pulled the pin on a bomb that threatened to blow the entire scandal into flames. And those leaked emails weren't a bluff. She had real files, audio, screenshots, and even surveillance footage from Joc's studio. One of them showed a young Joc pacing back and forth forever. Oh, she was playing hardball. And now, the city was shaking, murmuring, I had to do what I had to do. Rasheeda isn't going to say anything. Camilla, on the other hand, will remain silent. If she knows what's best for her. Yes, Joc just gave his enemies the golden ticket, and Camilla knew it. She organized a live press conference, complete with real chairs, lights, and more. Camilla stood tall and addressed the storm she had secretly sparked. The drama queen truly believed she was in the middle of a scandal, with the entire world watching. This situation has gone too far, and whether people like it or not, I'm going to reveal the truth. She dropped 3 bombshells, saying things like, You owe me this, Rasheeda. I kept your secrets before. Rasheeda was emotionally vulnerable, and Camilla said that she had confided in Joc during a difficult time in her marriage. Joc used that to get close to Kirk, while she was being watched. The world went into meltdown mode. Blogs crashed from traffic. Podcasts uploaded 5 emergency episodes overnight. Twitter became a digital wildfire. And then, Camilla admitted to bugging Kirk's office. Yes, she had audio recordings of Kirk ranting, planning to ambush Joc, and even attempting to silence him. Be the antagonist we required. This went beyond Joc versus Kirk. Running this city, Rasheeda had better not remain silent after this. Then, just when it seemed like things couldn't get any wilder, Rasheeda broke her silence by posting a 3-minute video on her personal page. No makeup, no glam, no filters, just pure emotion. I never thought my personal decisions would turn into a circus. I was betrayed and hurt. And yes, I made mistakes, but I'm not hiding anymore. I'm only protecting myself and my future. Rasheeda then confirmed the pregnancy, without denying that Joc was the father. She didn't defend Kirk's violence or praise Camilla's cunning. She simply said,